Hello folks, GWT here, West Truther, Wonder Man channel, and West Truther on the website of minds.com. Finished the last video off. A question to wonder about is, do you think any government or corporation or psychiatrist would willfully participate and promote human mind control? The horror that goes with total society manipulation for the society? The most obvious answer has got to be yes. Government agencies and the corporations that work with them towards the agendas of the Swiss Octagon's Illuminati, New World Order, are fully prepared to promote anything that will help them achieve their objective of total social control, mostly through fear and obedience. And I'm going to tell you, folks, that's not such a good thing. And you folks that don't think it's going to happen in your lifetime, I guess you don't care anything about your lifetime or anybody else's lifetime behind you, because everybody seems to be pretty content with what's going on. Cancer rates going up, all rights are being taken away, the threat of military, Trump, no one knows what in the heck that actor, that he's part of the aristocracy of the pharaohs of Rome and Egypt. You don't think so? Listen, there's a channel called Israeli News. Steve Banoon. Sometimes I feel like calling him Steve Buffoon, but it's Steve Danoon. I think I'm saying it right. And he puts out a lot of good information. He doesn't give the whole truth, and the things that he does not touch tells me he's an agent. He's so successful. These truthers who have hundreds of thousands of followers, folks, y'all are going to be listening to everything they tell you if the poop ever hits the fan and you can access them. They may even use their faces on the TV news to access you. I wrote him a comment on one of his recent videos, and ever since I wrote him this comment, folks, I'm going to read you the comment first. I said, Steve, I've watched, now see, I remember when he got started. I remember how him and Paul Bagley, who I have a very low opinion of, both as being a Christian and a fellow human being, he promotes all of the bad guys, NASA, military, war, fighting. He says everybody's the enemy to Israel and the United States, kill them all. I mean, basically. But anyway, him and Steve was chummy buddies for a while, and then that took me the other way about Steve. But anyway, I said, Steve, I've watched a lot of your videos, and you don't have much to say about Switzerland. That's where the head of the serpent is. I mean, Christians know about the serpent. Switzerland's got 7 kings and 10 ministries. I mean, 7 heads and 7 crowns and all this other kind of Bible. The Swiss Octagon that the Templars' money started, and started the first bank. The aristocracy of the Egyptian and Roman pharaohs and kings are running the entire flat earth, and Israel and the United States are 2 of the Swiss Octagon's best for starting wars and destroying good people with their ethnic cleansings and relic and artifact collecting and cover-ups of true history. The United Nations and all the U.S. military and law enforcement are controlled by the Swiss Octagon. Operation Paperclip brought many Swiss-born Nazis from Germany to this country, and the United States was handed over to these mad scientists and butchers who still worship the serpent, as was the very first religion ever. And the reptilians were the gods that all mankind was forced to worship. and slay each other to amuse these serpents that thrive on humans, killing and bleeding other humans, as is serpent worship. With your great success, I think that you know these things that I text you, but you have a gag order on you and you seem to be a double agent to me. Your God, Jesus, is a fake, and you know this also. He was born of Julius Caesar and Cleopatra VII, and his name was Caesarion, and he was royalty, and never crucified, and studied in Hamas. Spelling might be wrong. It's a Buddhist monastery for those missing 16 plus years where he studied and hid from Octavian, his stepbrother, who took over Rome after Julius Caesar was murdered. He took the army. Don't you think he was seeking the true rightful heir to the throne of God? Because Julius Caesar was elevated to the statue of God. So that made his reign over his kingdom. And anyway, folks, I've got other videos on all of that stuff. But anyway, his mother presented herself to be the reincarnated goddess Isis. That made her a virgin mother. So we got Julius Caesar, who is promoted to God, and his kingdom is supposed to be given in to his heir. And Octavian was an adopted son, because Caesarion hadn't been born yet. So Caesar didn't think he had a male heir to the throne. So don't you think Octavian would take that army and be looking around for Caesarion, the rightful blood heir to the kingdom of God? Anyway, folks, I said, I think that you know all these things that I text you, but you have a gag order and you seem to be a double agent to me. And when Jesus returned to Jerusalem to find James and Thomas and Selene, his siblings, this is when he called himself Jesus. And he married Selene, who changed her name to Mary Magdalene. And you have a lot of really good info with you, and you hold from those who trust you, and I know that you know who I am. And one last thing, all countries and China all answer to the Swiss octagon, and even Putin is of the aristocracy. China is with the UN to take down the United States and disarm us, but Trump and with Trump, Obama, and the Bushes, I kind of messed the wording up on that, I need to redo that, but with Trump, Obama, and the Bushes and the Clintons, etc., all of them are players of the same Swiss octagon team. And it's about time for you to admit that you are aware of all of this and much more. The rest of us are food, slaves, amusement, and sporting fun for the serpent worshippers. And it don't have anything to do with the name Jesus, which Rome thought up to control the spirits in the hands of the sheeple. Christians only fight each other and never the government, and the Bible story teaches this way. So the bad guys have no worries. If you don't know these things, then you need to wake up, Israeli News. And you know, ever since I posted this comment on Israeli News channel, I have not been able to make a comment on any video on anyone's channel anywhere on YouTube except the Wonder Man channel, the last video. I think I made one comment on that, but all the rest of the video on YouTube, all the other channels, I could look up a video about filming hummingbirds and I wouldn't be able to comment. I don't know. Maybe everybody has lost the ability to make comments, but I went back to his thing with another person that I was with on the phone at the same time, and I had no way there. I could not reach any comments or anything on there at all. So that's kind of strange for my ability to make comments. I mean, that's my thinking right now, that my ability to make comments on YouTube has been taken from me because of this comment that I left on Israeli News channel. Well, I read it to you. Y'all got a copy of it in this video. I don't know what you think about it. Doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to get comments over it, but I'm telling you, if this is the reason I can't comment, then doesn't that tell anybody anything about this Israeli News channel? Thank you very much. GWT here.